Hello, family. Praise the Most High. Many blessings to the Most High. Bless you all. I pray you all are doing well. When we left off in the book of Jasher after chapter 66, and we will pick up in the book of Jasher at chapter 67, verse 1. There was a man in the land of Egypt of the children of Levi, whose name was Amram, the son of Kehath, the son of Levi, the son of Israel. 2. And this man went and took a wife, namely Jochebed, the daughter of Levi, his father's sister. And she was 126 years old, and he came to her. 3. And the woman conceived and gave birth to a daughter, and she called her name Miriam, because in those days the Egyptians had embittered the lives of the children of Israel. 4. She conceived again and gave birth to a son, and she called his name Aaron. For in the days of her conception, Pharaoh began to spill the blood of the male children of Israel. 5. In those days, Zepho died, the son of Eliphaz, son of Esau, king of Chittim. Janius reigned in his stead. 6. And the time that Zepho reigned over the children of Chittim was 50 years. And he died and was buried in the city of Nabna in the land of Chittim. 7. And Janius, one of the mighty men of the children of Chittim, reigned after him for 50 years. 8. It was after the death of the king of Chittim that Balaam, the son of Beor, fled from the land of Chittim. And he went and came to Egypt, to Pharaoh, king of Egypt. 9. Pharaoh received him with great honor, for he had heard of his wisdom, and he gave him presents and made him a counselor and praised him. 10. Balaam lived in Egypt in honor with all the nobles of the king, and the nobles exalted him, because they all coveted to learn his wisdom. 11. And in the 130th year of Israel's going down to Egypt, Pharaoh dreamed that he was sitting on his kingly throne, and lifted up his eyes and saw an old man standing before him. There were scales in the hands of the old man, such scales as are used by merchants. 12. And the old man took the scales and hung them before Pharaoh. 13. And the old man took all the elders of Egypt and all its nobles and great men, and he tied them together and put them on one scale. 14. Then he took a milk kid. It's a young goat that gives milk, the female. And he took a milk kid and put it into the other scale, and the kid's weight surpassed all. 14 or 15. And Pharaoh was astonished at this dreadful vision, why the kid should surpass all. And Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream. 16. Pharaoh rose up early in the morning and called all his servants and related to them the dream. And the men were greatly afraid. 17. And the king said to all his wise men, interpret, I pray you, the dream which I dreamed, that I may know it. 18. Balaam, the son of Beor, answered the king and said to him, this means nothing else but a great evil that will spring up against Egypt in latter days. 19. For a son will be born to Israel who will destroy all Egypt and its inhabitants, and bring forth the Israelites from Egypt with a mighty hand. 20. Now therefore, O king, take counsel on this matter, that you may destroy the hope of the children of Israel and their expectation, before this evil arises against Egypt. 21. And the king said to Balaam, and what shall we do to Israel? Certainly, after a certain manner, did we at first counsel against them and could not succeed over them. 22. So now you also give advice against them, by which we may succeed over them. 23. Balaam answered the king, saying, send now and call your 2 counselors, and we will see what their advice is on this matter, and afterward your servant will speak. 24. And the king sent and called his 2 counselors, Reuel the Midianite and Job the Uzite. And they came and sat before the king. 25. And the king said to them, behold, you have both heard the dream which I have dreamed, and the interpretation thereof. So now give counsel, and know, and see what is to be done to the children of Israel, whereby we may succeed over them, before their evil will spring up against us. 26. Reuel the Midianite answered the king and said, may the king live, may the king live forever. 27. If it seems good to the king, let him desist from the Hebrews and leave them. And let him not stretch forth his hand against them. 28. For these are they whom the Lord chose in days of old, and took as the lot of his inheritance from among all the nations of the earth and the kings of the earth. And who is there that stretcheth his hand against them with punishment, of whom their Elohim was not avenged? Our family. 29. Certainly you know that when Abraham went down to Egypt, Pharaoh, the former king of Egypt, saw Sarah, his wife, and took her for a wife, because Abraham said, she is my sister. For he was afraid that the men of Egypt should kill him on account of his wife. 30. And when the king of Egypt had taken Sarah, then the Most High struck him and his household with heavy plagues, until he restored to Abraham his wife, Sarah. Then was he healed. 31. And Abimelech, the Gerarite, king of the Philistines, Elohim punished on account of Sarah, wife of Abraham, and stopping up every womb from man to beast. 32. When their Elohim came to Abimelech in the dream of night and terrified him in order that he might restore to Abraham Sarah, whom he had taken. Afterward, all the people of Gerar were punished on account of Sarah. And Abraham prayed to his Elohim for them, and he was entreated of him, and he healed him. 33. And Abimelech feared all this evil that came on him and his people. And he returned to Abraham, his wife Sarah, and gave him many gifts with her. 34. He did also to Isaac when he had driven him from Gerar. And the Most High had done wonderful things to him, that all the water courses of Gerar were dried up, and their productive trees did not bring forth. 35. Until Abimelech of Gerar and Ahuzzath, one of his friends, and Pekol, the captain of his host, went to him, and they bent and bowed down before him to the ground. 36. They requested of him to petition for them, and he prayed to the Lord for them. And the Lord was entreated of him, and he healed them. 37. Jacob also, the plain man, was delivered through his integrity from the hand of his brother Esau, and the hand of Laban, the Syrian, his mother's brother, who had sought his life. Likewise from the hand of all the kings of Canaan, who had come together against him and his children to destroy them. The Lord delivered them out of their hands, that they turned on them and struck them. For who had ever stretched forth his hand against them without penalty? The Lord protects his family. He won't let no one bother us if we give our hearts to our Creator, our Father. 38. Certainly Pharaoh the former, your father's father, raised Joseph, the son of Jacob, above all the princes of the land of Egypt when he saw his wisdom. For through his wisdom he rescued all the inhabitants of the land from the famine. 39. After which he ordered Jacob and his children to come down to Egypt, in order that through their virtue the land of Egypt and the land of Goshen might be delivered from the famine. 40. So now, if it seem good in your eyes, cease from destroying the children of Israel. But if it be not your will that they shall dwell in Egypt, send them forth from here, that they may go to the land of Canaan, the land where their ancestors sojourned. 41. And when Pharaoh heard the words of Jethro, he was very angry with him, so that he rose with shame from the king's presence and went to Midian, his land, and took Joseph's stick with him. 42. And the king said to Job, the Uzite, what do you say, Job? And what is your advice respecting the Hebrews? 43. So Job said to the king, Behold, all the inhabitants of the land are in your power. Let the king do as it seems good in his eyes. 44. And the king said to Balaam, what do you say, Balaam? Speak your word that we may hear it. 45. And Balaam said to the king, of all that the king has counseled against the Hebrews, will they be delivered? And the king will not be able to prevail over them with any counsel. 46. For if you think to lessen them by the flaming fire, you cannot prevail over them. For certainly their Elohim delivered Abraham, their father, from Ur of the Chaldeans. If you think to destroy them with the sword, certainly Isaac, their father, was delivered from it, and a ram was placed in his stead. 47. And if with hard and rigorous labor you think to lessen them, you will not prevail even in this. For their father Jacob served Laban in all manner of hard work and prospered. 48. Now therefore, O king, hear my words, for this is the counsel which is counseled against them, by which you will prevail over them, and from which you should not depart. 49. If it please the king to let him order all their children, which shall be born from this day forward, to be thrown into the water, for by this can you wipe away their name. For none of them, nor of their fathers, were tried in this manner. Our family, they want to destroy us and kill us. 50. And the king heard the words of Balaam, and the thing pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Balaam. 51. The king ordered an announcement to be issued and a law to be made throughout the land of Egypt, saying, every male child born to the Hebrews from this day forward shall be thrown into the water. 52. Pharaoh called to all his servants, saying, go now, search throughout the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel are, and see that every son born to the Hebrews will be cast into the river. But every daughter you shall let live. 53. And when the children of Israel heard this thing which Pharaoh had commanded, to cast their male children into the river, some of the people separated from their wives, and others adhered to them. 54. And from that day forward, when the time of delivery arrived to those women of Israel who had remained with their husbands, they went to the field to bring forth there. And they brought forth in the field and left their children on the field and returned home. 55. See what our family had to do and go through? And the Lord, who has sworn to their ancestors to reproduce them, sent one of his ministering angels, which are in heaven, to wash each child in water, to anoint and swathe it, and to put into its hands 2 smooth stones, from one of which is sucked milk, and from the other honey. Honey is good and important for us, family. And he caused its hair to grow to its knees, by which it might cover itself, to comfort it and to cleave to it through its compassion for it. 56. And when the Most High had compassion over them and had desired to reproduce them on the face of the land, He ordered his earth to receive them, to be preserved therein till the time of their growing up. After which the earth opened its mouth and vomited them forth, and they sprouted forth from the city like the herb of the earth, and the grass of the forest. And they returned each to his family and to his father's house, and they remained with them. Most High protects his family. 57. And the babies of the children of Israel were on the earth like the herb of the field, through Elohim's grace to them. Isn't he wonderful? 58. And when all the Egyptians saw this thing, they went forth, each to his field with his yoke of oxen and his plowshares, and they plowed it up as one plows the earth at offspring time. 59. And when they plowed, they were unable to hurt the infants of the children of Israel. So the people increased and thrived greatly. This is our family. 60. And Pharaoh ordered his officers daily to go to Goshen to seek for the babies of the children of Israel. 61. And when they had sought and found one, they took it from its mother's bosom by force and threw it into the river. But the female child they left with its mother. Thus did the Egyptians to the Israelites all the days. And that is the end of chapter 67, family, in the book of Jasher. Thank you very much for your understanding that this is our family that these scriptures are referring to, and our source, the Most High, our power, who will protect us always, as long as we are willing to follow his commandments, his statutes, his laws, and give our heart 100%.